Helen Yee here with Eyes on the Game here at Xtreme Couture, being joined by Mr. Brad Tavares. Now, you are fighting in Madison Square Garden, the first time in your pro career fighting there. Yep. November 2nd, how does that feel?
It feels amazing, honestly. I was scheduled to fight in Singapore, which I hear is a beautiful place, but to fight at Madison Square Garden, iconic arena, so much history. To be a part of that, it just, I can't even put it into words. I'm just beyond excited.
Yes. Now, I know it took a while, and there was a lot of anticipation for when you were going to come back. Yes. Is it against Anderson Silva, then Ian Heinisch, now Edmen Shahbazyan? Can you kind of talk to us about that whole process?
I was offered a few fights along the way, but at the time, unfortunately, my arm wasn't ready to go. I had that surgery, and I needed to get back to 100%. Finally, the call came to fight Ian Heinisch, and for whatever reason, that fell through, and Edmen's opponent, Krzysztof Jotko, fell through, and they wanted to put that fight together. It was a no-brainer for me, Like I said on my Instagram, the date changes, the opponent changes, but the mission stays the same. So I want to go out there November 2nd, put on a show, and remind all the fans in the middleweight division that, I'm still a contender here.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can remind them in the historic arena, right?
Yes, I can't wait to get out there. I've only been out to New York once, and I loved it there. Just to take it all in and, step foot in Madison Square Garden. I've never even been there. I've only walked on the outside, so it'll be an experience for sure.
With a win, how will you celebrate?
With my family, my family's going to be out there. I like to keep it tight-knit, I'm going to just be stoked to be back in the win column and probably just go out, have some dinner with my corner, my coaches, my team, and my family.
And New York pizza?
Oh, New York pizza! I can't wait to eat that. I've been it's been a long time since I've had to cut weight, so it feels new again. Like having to eat so good and not eat as much as I'd like to. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to eating a lot of good food after this.
Yes. And speaking of family, though, how is fatherhood treating you and your baby?
Oh, my baby is awesome. Fatherhood is, probably the best thing that's ever happened to me. People always tell you, and it feels so cliche, like, oh, you never know, there's nothing like a child's love or how you love your child. And I've heard it so much before we had my daughter, and when we had her, I was like, okay, now I know what they're all talking about. So I'm loving it, every second of it.
Well, this past year, you've been able to spend a lot more time with her, watch her grow, yes. Right?
Yeah, so, I like to be an optimist in situations. A lot of stuff happened after, like, not my arm just breaking, but a lot of things like that I feel like was doctor mess up, this, that, whatever. But at the end of the day, exactly what you just said, it allowed me more time in these formative years to spend. I spent a lot of time with my daughter. I'm with her every day, almost all day, every day. So it's a blessing, I guess, in a way.
Do you think also, too, being able to allow your body to heal because you've been fighting for a while now?
Yeah, anytime that you have extended layoff, it's great for the body, whether, you need it or want it or whatever it may be, but it's always good. And the one thing is that we as fighters, we never really know what's happening in our brain. And so anytime that you get a layoff like that, it's good to give your brain a rest because, with all the information coming out nowadays about CTE and all these concussions, it's kind of scary, like we're in a sport where you're getting hit a lot, so got to take care of your health all around.
Absolutely. Now, what did you learn the most about yourself during this layoff?
I learned that I really miss fighting. It killed me because it's not even just about not being able to fight. I wasn't able to train. I didn't punch with my left arm for 7 months or more. Yeah. So it started taking its toll, honestly. Again, I try to be an optimist in all situations and try to keep positive thoughts and not like dwell in the negative too much. But there were days where I would wake up and I would be frustrated, a bit angry about the situation. But luckily, with my girlfriend, my daughter, good people around me that, just remind me about the good things in life and that eventually I'll get back to right where I am right now. I'm about a week and a half out from my fight and excited to go.
Yes, and most important is to kind of have that good support system around you. Now, what can you take away from your fight against Israel to go into this fight against Edmen?
Oh, so that was one thing that, like really bothered me, is that anytime you lose a fight, there's obviously you go back, you look at film or things that you experience firsthand that you remember in the fight, like, oh, I should have done this or I should have done that, or your coaches like say like, oh, you know what, next time let's try this, try that. That was frustrating for me. I didn't get to do those things right away because I couldn't train because of the broken arm, so there was a lot of things like when I first came back, I was like, oh, I've been thinking for like 7 months on things like that I could do, that I could work on. So I got to try a whole bunch of new things, so it's actually like on that side again, like on the bright side of things, like I kind of got to like be artistic in a way about it, come back and try new things, and get out of just the same stuff I had been doing. So I'm gonna go out there and just always, the goal is to put on a show, and I want to finish this guy, get him out of there quick.
Which round?
I don't ever try to predict the round. It's always my goal to just go out there, smash his face, and get the W no matter what.
So you haven't been impressed with him, though he's been undefeated, 21 years old?
You know what? I don't want to say I haven't been impressed. It's he's around the same age I was when I got into the UFC, so I understand what he's done and what he's been through to get to where he has. And I don't want to overlook him, but at the end of the day, I just believe that I'm the better fighter. I think I'm the superior striker, the superior grappler, the superior wrestler, and it's gonna show on November 2nd.
Now, what did you think about Israel's win over Robert, and were you surprised at all?
I wasn't surprised at all. Honestly, I had the hardest time for months before they had even fought. When Israel fought Kelvin, I had been going back and forth thinking like, okay, is Robert going to beat Israel? Is Israel going to beat Robert? Because I seen both of their like pros and cons, and I could have seen it going either way. I honestly didn't think that Israel would have finished him. I thought that was going to go 5 rounds, but right before the fight, I actually that was my prediction. Israel would win, but by decision. So yeah, it was kind of a shocker that he went out there and finished Robert in the second. But that being said, me personally, I felt like like Robert was making a lot of mistakes in that fight. Like a guy like Israel, yeah, you got to pressure him, but I felt like he was just leaping at him, and Israel is such a talented striker. He saw all of that coming, used his range, his length, and his timing, and just put it on him.
But if they have that rematch, or if they have a rematch, do you think that Israel beats him again?
They're both gonna make adjustments. So I think I'll be on that same fence, depending. I think it'll kind of just depend how they looked in there. They're obviously gonna fight other people first. I think Israel's fighting Paulo next, so we'll see how he looks in that fight and how that goes. And hey, maybe Paulo does something that Robert can use to his advantage, and we'll see how Robert looks in his next fight. So it's hard to say right now, but yeah, when the time comes, I'll probably be in the same boat, thinking like, there's such good fighters. That's why I could see it going either way.
But Paulo versus Israel, which way?
I'm gonna have to go with Israel. I think Israel can withstand the storm that is Paulo Costa. That guy is just like brute strength, power. He just comes forward, reckless abandon, throws everything that he got. But you seen in the Romero fight, he started slowing down a little bit. This is gonna be a 5-round fight. I think Israel is experienced enough, both in kickboxing and in MMA, to withstand the initial storm and then start picking them apart.
Yes, but no doubt is everyone anticipating your return November 2nd, Madison Square Garden. For everyone who misses watching you in the octagon, what would you like to tell your fans?
I'd just like to tell everybody, thank you for being patient, still here, and I know it's been a long time, but please tune in November 2nd on ESPN2 and watch me do my thing.